Morning, guys. How's it going?
Oh, good,
well,
good.
mate,
That was a
thank you.
great result, first of all, Harry. No doubt about it. But that's a blow. Jesus out. But what about the goalkeeping situation? Do you understand, Mikel, why he's persevering or not?
It's difficult, really. As you say, it was a great result, and we don't want any other situation to kind of overshadow that. I was in the stadium last night, very atmospheric, difficult circumstances. I think particularly when Sevilla pulled the goal back, you wondered if Arsenal were going to be able to hold on, and in the end, they did. But yeah, when it comes to the goalkeeping situation, it's difficult, and I think the problem I've got with it at this moment in time is that when David Raya came in and everybody was saying, this is unorthodox, this is strange to have two number ones is going to be a problem. Mikel Arteta was adamant that was the case, that it was going to be a fair fight between these two for that number one spot. And based on David Raya's performances so far, if he doesn't bring Aaron Ramsdale in, then you could argue that it isn't a fair fight anymore and that Raya is the number one, regardless of what happens. Because, there were a few moments yesterday where his distribution wasn't great, but, midfielders wouldn't get those long passes right every single time. So to expect that from a goalkeeper, I think is wild. But there was a moment right at the end of the game where a cross came in and he sort of dived forward to punch it. He ended up punching it over the top of his head and it landed on the roof of the net. And I just thought to myself, if that had gone in, Mikel Arteta would have got a really, really rough ride in the aftermath. So it's a difficult situation. I'd personally like to see Ramsdale come back. I think if it is a fair fight, he deserves the opportunity to earn the shirt back, but I just don't see it happening at the moment.
Yeah,
Harry, you touched on it and said if it's a fair fight, you would expect Ramsdale to come back. And I think you're also right to say, you wouldn't want this situation that we've brought up immediately to gloss over a brilliant result, by the way, a fantastic result in Spain, there's no doubt about that. However, do you think one of the problems that Mikel Arteta has as well, Harry, is the fact that Ramsdale is extremely popular with the Arsenal fans?
Oh, definitely. Aaron Ramsdale came over to the away fans at the end of the game last night because obviously the away fans were kept back, as is the normal circumstance in an away European game. And all the players kind of came over and applauded the supporters. Aaron Ramsdale was one of the last to come over. And he just stood there for a good minute, just sort of taking in the applause. The fans were singing his name. And I noticed it in the Lens trip as well. When the two of them came over to warm up before the game, the difference in reception between Raya and Ramsdale was huge.
Yeah.
And what I would say is it's not fair to pick on David Raya as Arsenal
Yes, of course.
And, he's being picked by Mikel Arteta and he's doing his best. So I think the fans need to get behind him and support him because this divide that seems to be being created in the media and among some sort of Arsenal fans is not helpful for anyone. But you can see that there is definitely more popularity when it comes to Aaron Ramsdale than David Raya.
I agree. Harry, how do you feel at the moment, this challenge to be Premier Champions? Have Arsenal hit top form yet or is it still to come?
It feels like it's still to come. And I don't know whether to look at that as a positive or a negative because the negative side is that, Arsenal don't seem as free-flowing. They don't seem to click as much. The attack, has been effective in terms of scoring goals, but you haven't seen that swashbuckling style of football that Arsenal became renowned for last season. But equally, if you go back to last season, Arsenal peaked, in my opinion, a little bit too early. So to still be within touching distance and be in the mix, knowing that there's another gear for Arsenal to shift up into is a positive way of looking at it. So I'm hopeful that it will come good. And, there's been a lot of injuries for Arsenal at the start of this season. Thomas Partey being missing is a big blow because he progresses the ball from midfield into those forward positions really quickly and really early.
We can't fault Declan though, can we?
No.
Excellent.
No. Declan Rice is a wonderful player. And last night, again, he proved he was worth every penny of the money that Arsenal spent on him over the summer. But he is different to Thomas Partey in that Partey progresses the ball earlier. Partey's first thought is always to break lines and to go wide or whatever. When it comes to Declan Rice, he's just a little bit safer in possession and he's more of a carrier of the ball up the pitch rather than Thomas Partey who pings it off early. So they're different. In an ideal world, you have them both in the midfield alongside Martin Odegaard. That's Arsenal's strongest combination for me. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that in the not too distant future.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.